Hello everybody, my name is Narlin Varela. I'm from Cabo Caramanga, and today I will talk about Perfume, the story of the murder by Patrick Sansky. Patrick Sansky is a German writer. He was born in 1949 and he belonged to a magical realism genre. He wrote a lot of novels, for example, The Contrabands, The Pink Neon, The Story of the Mr. Summer, and of course, Perfume, The Story of the Murder. He won a Touch Prize in 1978, and in 1991 he published The Perfume, The Story of the Murder. This story describes how the orphan with exceptional talent, in this case discerning sense, wants to be a famous perfumer, but he becomes in a terrible murder in French. This book shows how the lack of the being accepted and love within society generate the necessity for looking for the maximum pleasure and can lead a person to commit a terrible ladies homicide. Sansky said that the smell is the symbol of identity. This tragedy story happened in France in 18th century, at the same time to the different historical sources. For example, the Seven Years' War between 1856 and 1863, and the French Revolution between 1789 and 1799. But the author focused in a social cultural problems. He forgot these sources and only mention a little bit. In a mention describe how is the life inside orphan, how is the life for the indigents, poverty, and the lack of morality and the pursuit of the bourgeoisie, which marginate people. Sansky affirmative that the society can have the power to create a genius, a talented being, a murderer, or a psychopath. In this book, Sansky judgmental the society for a discriminate, turning the marginalized into monetary object, and promote false values and use it for their convenience. This book wrote in a chapter begin to start in a stick on the industry of Paris by the number of the common graves, the corpus, and stall that you can be seen in the street, or you can imagine in the street. And then the author related the terrible condition in a poverty orphan in French. In these orphans we can find Jean Baptiste Grenouille, sorry, I can't speak French. Grenouille, that he was abandoned by his mother, and he spent all his childhood in orphanage, where he is related by the nurses and fellow orphans. Since childhood, he started to have a rare curiosity for the bodily essence. He started to die animals body and looking for the aroma of things, for example for the table, for the chair, for the pen, I don't know. And he gave of actually sense and the age of 20 after to work in a tannery, he becomes in a apprentice of the perfume, a famous perfume. Baldi is the name, who teach him how to distill some essence. But Granule wants to be something more, and he wants to capture the sense of the object, that the sense that he can't smell, but on other person can't. For example, the ball, the chair, the windows, the tree, and that's it. For the reason, Grenier traveling to Paris to learn the art of the flavorants. This is something to give a massage. And when he arrived, he achieves his objective, but his obsessional went further because he wants to create a perfume based on the sense of the human body, and in this case he focused to the young girls. For this reason he started to kidnap and murder around the 25 virgin ladies from different social strata. And the last one was a daughter of the important bureaucrat, and he captured him and condemned him to death. But with this girl, he could complete the perfume, and that's it. The day of his death, he decided to use part of this perfume with the dead girls, and he realized to the power that the perfume had when he impregnated a cloth with a little perfume and checking in the air, and this smell to I noticed all the people that who were waiting for his execution, and the people start to stay and getting aroused and start to them love and all these action that ended to a great orgy. And Granule have the opportunity to escape, and he when he looked this action, when he looked at this perfume, helped to the people to love with each other, and he decided to came back to when he grew up, to looking for this love that he never know. And when he come back looking for feel love by these people that all the life all the life regenerate them. He have always On the day of his death, he decided to use part of this perfume that he had created based on the essence of the dead girls, and he realized to the power that the perfume had when impregnantly a cloth, and then he checking it in the air, and this I'm not accept all the people that were waiting for his execution, and the people start to stay up, excited, and the love, and then getting aroused, and that ending to the great orgy, and it was the opportunity for the Grenius to escape. And when he looked at the effect of the perfume, he decided to come back to the orphan, the place when he grew up, looking for feel love for these people. And when he arrived, he applies the perfume on his body, hoping to receive the love, but ends up being eaten for the destitute. But this action, he think. And with the action, he thought that it represents the love that he looking for, because the author write open quotation marks. For the first time, he had to done something for love, close quotation marks, and this was very sad. Another chapter, Sosky remains attached to the sociological data of the time, and use ironic as a weapon when talking about the social problems, and represent health situation to which the marginals were subjected, specialty in this paragraph, open quotation marks. It was true that some winters were dying. 3 or 4 of the 2 dozen small pupils by their percent was much lower than that of most other adoptive mothers, not mentioned to the great state of religion inclusion, where 9 out of 10 children used to die. Of course, it was easy to replace them. Paris produced more than 10,000 abandoned children, bastards, and orphans annually, so the victims hardly noticed. Close quotation mark. In this paragraph, we can see that Sanskrit used the irony to mention that the society didn't care the children that was abandoned, and this is a terrible notice. And this novel, this novel being a novel that dealt with the mothers, and it very interesting for the public, for the readers, and it is very striking for the reader because it was written in a sequence between each chapter and keeps the reader's attention. This allows us to know a little bit about the social political systems of the times, perhaps the job, of the lifestyle, of the people of the time. And however, it has readiness because there was sometimes very confused because used a technical vocabulary uh, used in a process of distill scents or aromas and create a perfume. For example, pack Pagnocchils, sandalwood, bergamot, berrimor, aport nuts, bensons, hot flowers, and that's it. I think that is important to include in a small glossary in this book that will help to the lector or the writer to understand better as well as the, the, the story and something explain this vocabulary. And I can see that this book is a telling to the story a serial killer who started virgin daughters and which is based on real facts, expose a true human weakness that does not feel love. Open quotation marks. He wanted for once to be recognized in his true existence. Close quotation marks. Personally, I think that this book is very heavy for some people because we talk about the murder and we talk about how do you do a murder, how do you kill, how do you I don't know keep capture the sentient body. And for me it's very creepy but at the same time it's interesting. I don't know. It's strange but it's my perception. And when I have been reader, I can see that this book is very interesting. We can use that education tool. We can use for teach some historical, for teach values, and also for teach for create in our students critical comprehension, and that's it. That is interesting book but we can use carefully. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening my little books YouTube. I think that you enjoy it. See you.